Magandang araw mga ka-aerial defense, may ibabahagi na naman ako sa inyo dahil ngayong araw na ito ay may bagay tayong pag-uusapan, 3 Pinoy sugatan matapos tumama ang missiles ng Russia sa barko nila. Pero bago tayo magpatuloy, wag mo muna kalimutan mag-like, share, and subscribe, paki-follow at like muna ng aming page na nasa description na ang link. Sugatan ang 3 Filipino crew ng isang Liberian-flagged civilian vessel matapos natamaan ng missile ng Russia ang kanilang barko. Ayon sa Southern Military Command ng Ukraine na tumama ang missile habang nasa pantalan ng Odessa region ng Black Sea ang nasabing barko. Dahil sa pangyayari ay isang crew ang agarang nasawi habang sugatan ang 3 Filipino crew at isang empleyado ng pantalan ang nasugatan din. Patuloy na inaalam ng Department of Foreign Affairs ang pagkakakilanlan at kalagayan ng 3 Filipino crew na nasugatan sa insidente. Kasalukuyang biniberipika ng Department of Foreign Affairs o DFA ang reports hinggil sa nadagdag na ika-4 na Pilipinong tripulante na posibleng nasugatan sa missile attack ng Russia, na puminsala sa kanilang sinasakyan na Liberian flag vessel habang papasok sa Black Sea nitong Miyerkules. Ayon kay Foreign Affairs Undersecretary Ed De Vega, nakatanggap ang himpilan ng DFA sa Manila ng report na isa pang seafarer mula sa Pilipinas ang nagtamo ng injuries mula sa pag-atake. Sinabi ng opisyal na wala pang malinaw na impormasyon kung saan nanggaling ang missile, subalit base sa reports, isang Russian missile ang tumama sa barko habang papasok ito sa pantalan sa Odessa region na ikinasawi ng isang port employee na Ukrainian national. Ayon kay Undersecretary De Vega, kasalukuyang nasa ospital sa Odessa ang lahat ng mga Pilipinong lulan ng barko. Inanunsyo ni Indian Ambassador to the Philippines Shambu Kumaran na on track pa rin ang paghahatid ng BrahMos supersonic missile sa bansa. Hindi ipinaliwanag ng envoy kung kailan gagawin ang paghahatid sa kabila ng mga naunang ulat na darating ang mga missile sa Desyembre.
We are broadly on track. I'm not sure there's going to be exactly next month, but we are broadly on track. I think the best explanation was put out by Secretary Lorenzana when the contract was signed as to how this is going to defend the Philippines' interests in the West Philippine Sea, and I think that is and other areas of interest to the Philippines. So we see this as a capability that is for the Philippines to decide in terms of how it is to be deployed, but it is a defensive capability which is essential in the current regional scenario.
Tinukoy din ni Kumaran ang pahayag ni dating Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana kung gaano kalaki ang dagdag na tulong ng mga supersonic missiles na ito sa militar ng Pilipinas. Matatandaan na nilagdaan ni Lorenzana ang $375 million o humigit kumulang 21 billion pesos na kasunduan sa BrahMos Aerospace noong 2022, para sa 3 baterya ng BrahMos anti-ship missiles. Ayon sa Ambassador ng India, ang paghahatid ng BrahMos missile ay magpapahusay sa kakayahan sa pagtatanggol ng Pilipinas sa gitna ng mga kasalukuyang sitwasyon. Idinagdag niya na sinusuportahan din ng India ang plano ng Pilipinas na lumikha ng isang maasahang defense posture. Patungkol naman sa 7 helicopters na balak bilhin ng Pilipinas mula India para sa ating maritime security, sinagot na ito ni Indian Ambassador to the Philippines Shambu Kumaran.
So, maritime security is an important facet of our emerging partnership. The Coast Guard Commandant, the former Coast Guard Commandant now, Admiral Abu, was in India, which was the first ever visit by a Coast Guard Commandant. We signed a new MOU on enhanced maritime cooperation. We're working on information sharing. And across the Navy to Navy domain also, there's a lot of cooperation. One of the things that the Philippine Coast Guard has been looking at is to augment its capacities and modernize itself. And in that context, obviously given the capabilities that exist in India in terms of equipment, we are having a conversation. The conversation is still in progress, so it will be difficult to give you any specifics. But what we have offered is to provide a concessional financing, and of course it's a very attractive offer from a government-to-government perspective, because not only in terms of operational training, in terms of having extensive interactions between our Navy and the Philippine Coast Guard and our Coast Guard, we'll also be having a very deep setup here in terms of maintenance, because that is an area where the Philippines Coast Guard is very keen that it should not be found wanting given the operational requirements that they have. So we would have a lot of training for the engineers who will be coming out of colleges and they'll be trained specifically for this sort of work. There'll be also in terms of spares and the whole support system for several years. This is a concessional loan, a soft loan with very favorable terms and an extended repayment period. Given the the current scenario in budgets across the world, it's not a great time to be spending. So the idea is that the Philippines government has that flexibility. It's a loan through the India Exim Bank, and the Indian government will be supporting it. You see, the South China Sea is one of the key arterial waterways in the world. And obviously, as I was mentioning to you, this is the sort of driving area for global growth. And we have a very strong interest as India. This has been an area we've been traditionally very active, and our engagement in this region has been growing quite exponentially. So obviously we have a very strong interest in seeing that this region continues its peaceful development, which is in our mutual interest. And therefore, any developments that happen here that are affecting that would be something that we would like to see. And as I've said, countries have a responsibility to behave in a manner that contributes to stability, and larger countries have a larger responsibility.
Humigit kumulang 2,600 Philippine at US Marine Corps personnel ang sasali sa edisyon ngayong taon ng kaagapay ng mga mandirigma ng dagat o kamandag exercises. Ang nasabing pagsasanay ay magsisimula sa November 9 hanggang November 17, para mapahusay ang interoperability ng dalawang puwersa, sinabi ni Philippine Marine Corps Deputy Commandant at Kamandag Exercise Director, Brigadier General Jimmy Larida, na nasa 1,732 Filipino Marines ang lalahok, kasama ang 902 na US Marine Corps troops, kasama rin sa ehersisyo ang 57 tauhan ng Republic of Korea Marine Corps at 50 tauhan ng Japan Ground Self-Defense Force, samantala, 8 tauhan mula sa United Kingdom ang magmamasid o magiging observer sa taunang ehersisyo sa unang pagkakataon. Inaasahang magaganap ang mga aktibidad ng Kamandag sa iba't ibang lokasyon sa Luzon at Mindanao. Para sa mas madaming update tungkol sa ating defense, abangan lamang ang aking mga bagong video. Para naman sa mga gusto magpa-shoutout, mag-comment lamang po at share, paki-follow at like muna ng aming page na nasa description na ang link. Huwag mo na rin kalimutan mag-like, share, and subscribe. Pindutin mo na rin ang bell para updated kayo sa aking mga video. Maraming salamat po.